It is a bright sunny day and Juju walks home from class with her friend. Suddenly, her friend spots a handsome man nearby and asks if that is Juju's older brother. Girls around him keep staring because this guy looks very attractive. Juju confirms that it is really him. Her friend gets excited right away and begs Juju for an introduction, but Juju refuses because she never understands why girls like her brother so much. She even pretends they are not related whenever they are outside, so she tells her friend to just leave. But then things suddenly change. Another handsome man walks over and stands beside her brother. Turns out it is Go Dojin, and Juju's friend is completely shocked. Two model-looking guys are now standing together. Dojin looks amazing in his suit, and Juju quietly stares at him. The two men look tall and stylish like celebrities. Because of that, Juju's cheeks turn slightly red. Our girl clearly gets flustered. If we talk about Juju's first love, we need to go back many years. Back when she just started elementary school, something unforgettable happens. One day she gets scared after seeing someone outside their front door, so she runs to call her brother. Seo Taeyu is in 4th grade at the time. Our boy only wants to play games, but Juju keeps bothering him non-stop. She begs him to check the door because she thinks the new neighbors have arrived. At first, this guy does not care, but suddenly a voice comes from outside asking if anyone is home. Because of that, both siblings freeze for a moment. Little Juju slowly opens the door a little and peeks outside. Then she sees someone stunning. A very handsome man stands there holding rice cakes and smiling warmly. He asks if their parents are home. Even though Juju is still a child, she is instantly amazed by his looks. Some people just look breathtaking. The man explains that he just moved next door and came to greet them. Juju cannot hold back and blurts out that he is handsome. Then she keeps staring with her mouth open. That is how her first love begins. This man is Gadayuk, and Juju sees him as perfect. But sadly, there is an 8-year age gap between them. Now things get worse because Gadayuk is divorced and already has a child. The obstacle becomes even bigger. Later, Juju returns home and loudly announces herself, but she quickly notices her brother is still not back yet. Turns out he is out drinking with Go Dojin. Dojin is Godoyuk's younger brother and also Taeyu's close friend. Juju heads to the shower while thinking about seeing Dojin earlier that day. In that suit, this guy looked like a gangster. As the hot water runs down, she admits he has become just as handsome as Godoyuk. Surprisingly, maybe even more handsome now. After showering, she wraps her hair in a towel and waits around. Soon she realizes her brother still has not returned. Since it is almost dinner time, she decides to call him. She asks when he plans to come home. Taeyu gets annoyed immediately after hearing that. He reminds her that he is not her personal chef. Then he tells her to make her own food if she is hungry. Juju starts whining right away. Because she keeps complaining, Taeyu gives her another option. He tells her to come eat with them at the restaurant instead. Since Dojin is paying tonight, she can join too. Hearing that, Juju gets excited. She quickly gets ready and heads over. A bit later, Juju arrives at their table with a bright smile. Dojin asks why she suddenly showed up there. Taeyu calmly says he could not let the kids starve. Juju happily sits down and keeps glancing at Dojin. This guy sighs and calls both siblings freeloaders. Taeyu just laughs and pats Juju on the back. Then he tells her to order whatever she wants. Juju does not act shy at all. She immediately calls the waiter over and starts listing dish after dish, but then she notices Dojin staring at her intensely, so she asks why he is looking at her like that. Dojin keeps staring at Juju across the table. She wonders if this guy is worried about the bill, but he only smiles and says that is not the reason at all. Resting his chin on his hand, he says he still remembers her as a little kid. Now she is grown enough to drink alcohol, and that surprises him. Juju instantly blushes after hearing that. She is only 3 years younger than him, so the age gap never feels big to her. But seeing him in that suit makes her imagination run wild, so she asks why he is dressed like that. The next moment, Dojin removes his jacket. Juju gulps right away because his broad shoulders stand out under the shirt. He explains that he just came from his cousin's wedding. Juju remembers how she once only cared about handsome faces. Now things are different. She is completely mesmerized by this guy's broad chest and strong frame. Then Dojin loosens his tie while she keeps staring. He notices it and asks if she likes the suit that much. Juju gets flustered and cannot answer properly. She just keeps looking at him without saying much. Taeyu laughs and says he already told his friend that girls love men in suits. Then our boy jokes that if he wore one to university, every girl would fall for him. He suddenly asks if anyone plans to get married soon. Dojin teases him and says he should at least try wearing a suit first. Taeyu gets tired of the talk and tells everyone to just drink. He says it to Dojin, but Juju grabs the glass first and gulps it down. Everyone bursts into laughter after that. Because of it, they decide to get drunk together that night. Later, the apartment is covered with empty bottles. Juju is usually very picky, so finding a man who meets her standards is difficult. But now she feels like she has found the perfect ideal. Her hands slowly rest on Dojin's chest. Just touching it once makes her unable to look away. She cannot tell if this is a dream or real life. The guys are already passed out from drinking. Juju no longer cares what is real and only wants to keep staring at that broad chest. Dojin is asleep and only sighs whenever her hands touch him. Meanwhile, Juju keeps admiring him without stopping. Morning arrives, and sunlight fills the apartment. Dojin wakes up with a pounding headache and feels strangely hot. He assumes Taeyu must have turned on the heater by mistake. Then he feels something heavy lying on top of him. Half asleep, he thinks it might be a large dog. But when he opens his eyes, it is Juju sleeping right on top of him. His whole body aches as he quickly sits up. This guy cannot understand why she is even there. Dojin fixes his shirt and wonders how Juju can act so carefree. Then he goes to wake Taeyu in the next room. He says everyone needs to get ready for class, so Taeyu and his sister should go home and change clothes. Taeyu feels just as terrible and asks why they cannot get ready there. After all, they live next door, but Dojin refuses and tells them to leave. He still has to clean up the mess they made last night. Then he heads to the shower. From outside, he hears Taeyu waking Juju and telling her they are late for university. Soon Juju panics and shouts that she is already late. Dojin turns on the water while holding his aching head, but something feels strange. His chest also hurts badly for some reason. He walks to the mirror and freezes in shock. His chest and neck are covered with bruises and bite marks. This guy cannot understand what happened. It looks like some wild dog attacked him. Then a blurry memory returns. He remembers drunk Juju touching his chest all over him. Ojin instantly blushes and smacks his own face in embarrassment. He cannot believe what that girl did to him. Later, students leave the lecture hall as classes end. Juju slowly walks out because she feels terrible. She tells her friend she is probably going home. Her friend cheerfully says goodbye and leaves. Suddenly, Juju receives a text from Go Dojin. That shocks her because he never messages her first. He asks where she is right now. Juju replies that she is heading home and wonders what happened. Juju is already near the exit when she suddenly spots a familiar figure. Dojin is standing by the gate with his hood pulled low. The moment he sees her, this guy sternly calls her over. Juju quickly walks to him and asks what happened. She thinks something might be wrong with Taeyu, but Dojin says her brother is still in class. That only makes Juju even more confused. He looks irritated, like he has something serious to say. After a few awkward seconds, Juju asks what is going on. Dojin gives a short laugh and pulls down his hood. Then he points at the bruises on his neck. He asks if she can see what happened to him. Juju is shocked the moment she sees the marks. They look terrible to say the least. But she asks why she has to hear relationship drama from her brother's friend. Surprisingly, Dojin only laughs again. He says he cannot believe she does not remember last night. Juju immediately steps back in confusion. She is ready to deny everything at first, but then things get worse. A memory suddenly flashes in her mind. She remembers touching his chest while drunk. Because of that, shame instantly washes over her. She cannot say a single word in defense. Dojin calmly says it is good she finally remembers. Then this guy grabs her hand and tells her to come with him. His touch makes her heart race right away. Juju also realizes he is seriously angry. Once they get home, Dojin drags her inside quickly. They kick off their shoes in a rush and head straight into the apartment. Juju keeps apologizing and says her memory is still foggy. She claims she barely remembers anything. Dojin looks at her face and realizes she is not lying. She truly cannot remember the full night. Then he reaches for the hem of his hoodie. Juju instantly panics and asks what he is doing. He gives her a sideways glance and says he is helping refresh her memory. Then he pulls off the hoodie without hesitation. Juju sees the marks all over his body and cries out in shock. Her face turns red from embarrassment. She likes his figure, but now she feels ashamed. Dojin stands there just as embarrassed and tells her to admire her own handiwork. Because of Juju, his body has been hurting all day. This guy clearly wants answers. He asks what is wrong with her. Then he wonders why she bites people like a dog. Juju cannot stop staring at him and keeps apologizing again and again, but her eyes never leave his chest. Dojin grabs her chin and lifts her face up. He tells her to look directly at him. Then he asks if a simple apology is supposed to fix everything. Juju becomes completely flustered. Because she is distracted by his chest, her apology sounds fake. Dojin notices it right away. He says her face makes it obvious she is not sincere. Then he asks why she is smiling. This guy gets even more annoyed. He asks if she wants him to do the same thing back to her. Juju has only seen him this angry once before. That memory quickly returns. It happened right before midterm exams. Taeyu kept pestering Dojin with questions about getting closer to the class president. Our boy would not stop talking for even a second. Dojin was already exhausted. Juju does not care about their gossip at all. They are blocking her view of the TV, so she rudely tells them to leave. Dojin says they should not discuss such things in front of a child. Then he suggests going outside. Taeyu gets surprised by that comment. He asks why his friend still sees Juju as a child. Turns out Dojin had been staying over for 2 straight days. He and Taeyu were working on a joint project and both looked completely worn out. Taeyu tries to show Dojin how shamelessly grown up his sister has become, but Juju quickly tells them to get lost and work on their project somewhere else. Her brother gets annoyed and decides to teach her a lesson. He starts a playful fight, but things go wrong fast. Because of sleep deprivation, this guy moves clumsily and knocks over a can of coffee. The drink spills directly onto the laptop. Turns out the laptop belongs to Go Dojin. Even worse, the project they worked so hard on is ruined too. Taedu and Juju freeze in shock after seeing the mess. An eerie aura suddenly surrounds Dojin. He stays calm, but his face looks ready to kill someone. Everyone knows this is a dangerous moment. Juju remembers how long Taedu once had to beg for forgiveness. She knows Dojin is actually a good person. Since both siblings are used to apologizing, Juju quickly drops to her knees. She clasps her hands and starts begging non-stop. She promises it will never happen again. She says she has no idea what came over her. Surprisingly, she even claims she never acts like this while drunk. Then she says she will do anything he asks. Go Dojin stays still and takes a deep breath. He tells her to stand up. Then he asks if she really means she does not do stupid things when drunk. Juju shyly nods and says yes. Dojin sighs and forgives her this time. He says it is only because it is her, but he warns her never to behave like that with anyone else. Otherwise, serious trouble could happen. He also says he is not sure he can trust her the same way again. Juju feels relieved and nods obediently. But then Dojin suddenly asks what she would do if it happened again. She quickly says it never will. Then Juju glances at his broad chest again and starts blushing. Turns out she is not fully confident in that answer. So she cheerfully says if it happens again he can do the same thing back to her. A vein instantly pops on Dojin's forehead. This guy asks if she has completely lost her mind. 2 weeks pass after that mess. During all that time, Juju becomes Dojin's personal servant. She handles every request to settle their conflict. Now once again, Dojin keeps ordering her around. Juju hates it, but she endures everything. Taedu notices her strange behavior and questions his friend. He asks what happened to make his sister so obedient. Dojin calmly says he has no idea. Then he tells Taedu to pack his things. Right after that, Juju appears with a sweet smile. She politely says the coffee for Dojin is already on the table. Her brother grins and asks for coffee from his sweet little sister too, but Juju instantly shows a rude gesture. Then she tells this guy not to even dream of it. Dojin only needs to call her name once. Juju instantly sighs in defeat and says she understands. To be fair, most of this guy's requests are small things. Usually it is coffee or simple favors. Every morning, she even has to wake him up based on his class schedule. When Juju asks how long this will continue, Dojin gives a clear answer. He says until the marks on his chest disappear completely. That makes her even more curious. By the end of the week, Juju cannot stop thinking about it. What if he already healed and is just fooling her? She cannot ask him directly, so she decides to check herself. While he sleeps, she quietly reaches for the buttons on his shirt. But the moment she touches him, Dojin grabs her hand. He asks what she is trying to do. Juju instantly blushes and panics after getting caught. She does not want this guy to misunderstand. At the same time, she cannot admit she only wants to check the bruises. So she quickly lies and says she is trying to wake him up like he asked. But Dojin does not believe her at all. He gets annoyed and asks if she is drunk again. Juju yelps at that outrageous idea. She says this is nothing like before. Then she sighs heavily, wondering why she cannot simply ask if his chest has healed. Things keep getting more awkward. Later, she makes coffee while thinking her slavery might end soon. Then she overhears Taedu talking with Dojin. Her brother asks why this guy does not want to study abroad. Juju immediately becomes curious. She places the coffee down and asks why he really does not want to leave. After all, he only needs slightly better grades. Then everything would work out. Taedu, still confused, asks why Juju is sweet to Dojin but rude to her own brother. Dojin looks up from his tablet and gives a calm answer. Maybe it is because he is staying home while Taedu is leaving the country. That means Juju would be left behind. Hearing that, Juju pouts right away. She cannot understand why Dojin will not go too. It is only 4 weeks away. By then, all the marks on his body would heal, and everyone would forget the whole mess. But Juju does not notice something important. Behind the tablet, Dojin is secretly watching her. Surprisingly, his cheeks turn red. He thinks the girl is still just as naive and silly as ever. Friday morning finally comes. Juju wakes up alone in the apartment because her brother has already flown out. Then she suddenly smells something delicious coming from inside the house. She gets suspicious right away. If she is supposed to live alone for 4 weeks, then who is cooking? Juju rushes out of the room thinking maybe her brother missed his flight. She heads straight to the kitchen. The moment she enters, she calls out and asks if her brother forgot to leave today, but then she freezes on the spot. Standing there is a familiar figure wearing an apron. That sight completely stuns her. She can barely whisper and asks what Go Dojin is doing in her apartment. Then she notices the dumplings and gets happy for a second, but she quickly regains herself and asks again why this guy is in her kitchen. Dojin calmly says it is already too late now. If she wants breakfast, she better hurry up. Then he tells Juju to wash up and change first. Juju cannot understand why this guy is making her breakfast. The whole scene feels like some strange dream. She loudly asks again why he is doing this. More than anything, she wants answers. While setting the table, Dojin calmly explains everything. Turns out Taedu asked him to make sure his sister does not starve while he is away. He says it so casually, like it is no big deal. Then he tells her to hurry before the soup gets cold. Juju feels extremely awkward. For the first time, they are alone together in the same room, but the delicious dishes on the table make her mouth water fast. She shyly asks if she can eat first and shower later. Dojin sighs and asks why she even needs permission. It is her own house after all. Hearing that, Juju rushes straight to the table. Her embarrassment disappears the moment food is involved. After sitting down, she asks if she understood correctly. Would Dojin really cook for her the whole time her brother is gone? He sits across from her and simply says yes. That answer shocks her again. Then Juju asks about cleaning too. Surprisingly, Dojin says cleaning is also his job, but the laundry will be her responsibility. Juju happily accepts because her brother usually handled that before. She sincerely thanks him for breakfast. Then she takes the first spoonful and freezes. The food tastes unbelievably good. She jumps up and asks if he really made it himself. Dojin calmly says he cooked everything. Juju immediately praises him non-stop. She even says he is better than Taedu. That compliment lands hard. Dojin and Taedu study at the same university and same department. Because they are always together, Juju follows them and joins the same university too. Later, Dojin finds an apartment near campus. When Juju learns the apartment next door is empty, she quickly signs the lease. Then she and her brother move in beside him. That is how the three end up living so close. But things soon feel different. Even though they have been neighbors for years, Juju now feels awkward. They used to barely talk because both felt shy around each other. After entering university, they start speaking more often. Now they are practically alone together. While putting on lipstick for class, Juju suddenly realizes something. This is the first time they have eaten breakfast alone together. Thinking about the food and those marks on his body makes her blush. Her heart keeps pounding. After breakfast, Dojin starts washing dishes. Juju secretly hopes he will not make her serve him for all 4 weeks. She wants to talk about it, so she calls out to him, but this guy speaks first. He asks why she has not left for class yet. Then he casually asks if she wants coffee. There is not even a hint of teasing in his voice. Juju feels touched by the unexpected kindness. Still, that is not what she wants to ask. With her heart racing, she asks if the marks on his chest have healed. Dojin instantly becomes defensive. He asks why she suddenly wants to know. Juju gets flustered and says he misunderstood. Dojin crosses his arms and smirks. He asks if she only wants to know because her slavery might be over. Juju gulps as things get more intense. She insists he misunderstood again, but her heart keeps pounding harder. Suddenly, she notices how tall this guy really is. Then Dojin keeps smiling and asks if she wants to admire his chest again. Juju quickly stretches out her hands and says she is only worried about him. She tells him not to stand so close, but then she feels something firm under her palms. Turns out she is touching his chest again. She instantly notices how broad and strong it feels. Juju turns red from embarrassment and pulls back fast. Then she hurriedly explains she only meant to push him away a little. Dojin quickly covers his chest with both hands like an offended maiden. Then he tensely says Juju is really something else. Hearing that, the girl gets too embarrassed to stay. She runs straight out of the apartment. As she leaves, Juju thanks him again for breakfast and wishes him a good day. Dojin lets out a relieved sigh. But just when he relaxes, he suddenly hears her voice again. This guy instantly gets worried. Juju comes back only to say she has plans with friends tonight. She tells him she will eat dinner with them so he does not need to cook. Hearing that, Dojin feels something unfamiliar inside. He suddenly thinks she looks cute enough to make his heart skip a beat. He wonders if this is what older brothers feel like. Then he turns back toward the dirty dishes. But before he can continue, he notices Juju forgot her handbag on the table. That creates another chance. Juju is already putting on her shoes when she hears him call out. She wonders what this guy wants now. Dojin walks over and lightly taps her head with the bag. Then he tells her not to be so careless. Juju thanks him in surprise. But then Dojin suddenly asks who she is meeting. He specifically asks if it is girls. Juju smiles and says yes, only the girls from her group. The moment he hears that, he feels relieved. He tells her to have fun tonight. Then he reminds her not to drink too much. This guy clearly cares more than he admits. As the day ends, the sun slowly sets. Juju is now at a restaurant enjoying time with her friends. Everyone is chatting happily while drinks keep coming. She lifts another glass as the gossip begins. The girls start talking about a new guy at the university. They say he is incredibly handsome. One friend says she knows exactly who they mean. His name is Min and he is tall and attractive. Another girl confirms it right away. She says his full name is Shinung Min. He has many followers on social media and wants to become a trainee. That instantly gets everyone excited. One of the girls nudges Juju with her elbow. She says there is no way Juju does not know him. Juju looks confused and casually says maybe she has seen him around. The girls giggle and expose something surprising. They say they saw that guy subtly trying to sit next to her at the last apartment meeting. Because of that, they are sure he likes her. Juju feels awkward immediately. She does not remember anything like that. Since the hints keep piling up, she honestly says she is not interested in him anyway. Her blunt answer surprises the group. One friend laughs and says Juju is not the type to fall for looks alone. Then she changes the topic fast. She asks if everyone has seen Juju's brother lately. Turns out there are two famous heartthrobs in the IT department. Juju's brother is one of them. One girl says she saw him recently and he was so handsome it was blinding. Juju is happy the attention shifts away from her. But then things get worse. One friend suddenly says she heard Juju's brother already has a girlfriend. Juju looks shocked by that claim. She quickly takes another sip of alcohol. She firmly says her brother does not have a girlfriend. She is completely sure of it. Hearing that, the girls sigh in relief and say student gossip communities cannot be trusted. Suddenly, a handsome blonde guy walks up to their table. He cheerfully says he is happy to see his seniors. Juju instantly recognizes him as Shinung Min, the same guy they were just discussing. She immediately feels uneasy. Then this guy smiles brightly and asks if he can sit next to her. The girls stare at him in silence. After all the teasing from earlier, everything suddenly feels awkward. Sun Man keeps looking only at Juju with hopeful eyes. He does not look away for even a second. Juju remembers something from when she first entered university. Back then, she was still not used to drinking. One day, she got too drunk at a party. That mistake caused trouble the very next morning. She arrives in class still smelling a little like alcohol, but instead of acting normal, everyone greets her warmly and cheerfully. Juju is confused right away. Something clearly feels off. Then her friend gets upset and asks why she had to hear everything through rumors. She says Juju should have told her directly. Juju just stares blankly, having no idea what she means. Then she asks what rumor she is talking about. Her friend quickly explains everything. The whole university is saying Juju and San are having a fling. People even say they look like a beautiful couple. Hearing that, Juju freezes on the spot. She has no idea where those lies came from. Later at home, she tells her brother everything. He immediately asks who this guy is. Juju says San is just a senior from her department. She explains he is spreading rumors that something happened between them. Taidu gets furious right away. This guy is always ready to protect his sister. He demands San's number so he can deal with that scumbag, but Juju says they never even exchanged numbers. That only makes the rumor more insulting. Taidu becomes even angrier and asks if the guy has lost his mind. Then he says he has no classes tomorrow and will go with her. At that moment, Dojin walks into the apartment. He comes to ask if Taidu finished his work, but then he hears the conversation and stops. The mood changes instantly. Juju says everything is fine and she is not a child, but her brother argues that she is a 20-year-old child. Dojin then asks what they are fighting about. Taidu explains that some idiot is bothering Juju. so he plans to go to class with her tomorrow and will not let that guy get away with it. Then he asks Dojin if he agrees. Dojin thinks for a moment before answering. He says Juju is not entirely wrong. He also says Taedu may be overreacting a little. Juju feels relieved hearing that. Her brother's overprotective side often drives her crazy. She thanks Dojin and says she can solve problems on her own. Then she stands up and says the matter is over. Deep down, Dojin's calm attitude unsettles her more than Taedu's loud concern. She appreciates her brother's care, but she does not want him fixing everything forever. Juju wants to be treated like an adult now. Meanwhile, Dojin sits beside Taedu on the couch. Taedu asks if stepping in now would still be smarter before things get worse. Dojin calmly says he should not have mentioned anything to Juju. Turns out he also has no classes the next day. He says the two of them could have handled it together quietly. That answer says a lot. Back in the present, Juju stares into her empty glass. Her mind is foggy from alcohol again. She realizes she cannot even remember what happened after that old incident. Suddenly, she knows she drank too much again. Sunung-man watches her carefully. He notices she is no longer thinking clearly. A sly smirk appears on his face. This guy instantly comes up with a sneaky plan. He moves as close to her as possible and starts talking. Juju immediately dislikes it. She feels uncomfortable sitting next to him. But things get worse when he leans near her ear. He whispers that she left her umbrella in the classroom before. He says he picked it up and took it home. Then he offers for her to come to his house and get it back. Even while drunk, Juju feels something is wrong. She does not like being around this guy at all. She gets even more annoyed when her friend Sojang leaves her seat, pretending to go to the restroom. That move lets Sunungmin sit beside Juju. Now the friend secretly encourages him, thinking they like each other. But Juju only feels creeped out. She cannot understand why her friend cannot see the obvious truth. Juju is not interested in this guy at all. The girls keep playing a drinking game called Rabbit Carrot. The loser has to drink every round. Juju keeps losing again and again. Because of that, she gets drunk very fast. The more she drinks, the harder it becomes to keep playing. Sunman quietly watches everything from the side. Turns out, this is exactly what he wants. Earlier, he invites Juju to come over. He says she can collect the umbrella later, or he can bring it to the university. But Juju calmly says there is no need. She already has plenty of umbrellas at home. This answer makes the guy angry. He cannot believe his charm is not working on her. Then he watches another girl hand Juju one more glass. Our boy starts wondering why she stays so cold toward him. Juju can barely hold the glass now, so this guy quickly offers to drink it for her. The other girls praise him and act like he is some knight on a white horse, but Juju instantly refuses his help. Then surprisingly, she grabs the full glass of soju cocktail. She drinks everything in one gulp. Everyone at the table freezes. Silence suddenly fills the room. Sochang finally understands the truth. Her friend clearly does not like the handsome guy at all. All their matchmaking efforts are a complete failure. The other girls realize it too. Because of that, they decide to end the night. They suggest everyone should head home now. But things get worse when Sunman suddenly puts his arm around the fully drunk Juju. He asks where she lives so he can walk her home. His behavior immediately worries the girls. Even though they study together, he is still almost a stranger. His eagerness feels suspicious. So Soshang quickly stands up. She says his help is not needed. Juju lives nearby and they will call her OA to pick her up instead. Meanwhile, Go Doshin keeps staring at his phone. He is getting anxious because Juju still has not come home. It is already almost midnight. Then suddenly his phone starts ringing. He asks why she is calling this late, but instead of Juju, a different girl speaks. She gives him the name of the bar. Then she says Juju is so drunk that she cannot even walk. Finally, she asks him to come pick her up. The guy jumps up from the couch right away. He runs so fast that sweat starts pouring down. By the time he reaches the bar, he is already out of breath. Our boy rushes inside without stopping. Guju's friends feel relieved the moment Dojin arrives, but this guy suddenly freezes after seeing the scene. He locks eyes with another man who clearly hates his arrival. Juju is sitting unconscious right beside him. The stranger even has his arm around her. Because of that, anger instantly rises inside Dojin. He cannot believe what he is seeing. What the hell is going on here? Dojin gives the man a cold stare. The guy immediately pulls his hand away from Juju. Turns out, one look is enough to scare this scumbag. The whole mood changes at once. Dojin kneels in front of Juju. He wonders how she lets herself get this drunk. She cannot even open her eyes now. He tries to wake her, but she does not respond. Realizing she is completely out of it, he lifts her onto his back like she weighs nothing. Sojang hands over Juju's bag. She thanks him again for coming to pick her up. Then she watches him carry Juju away. At that moment, Sunung Min quietly walks over. He says Juju's brother looks really intimidating. But surprisingly, Sochung says he is not her brother at all. She explains that Juju's real brother has gone abroad for a short time. Now his friend is taking care of her instead. Hearing that, the guy looks shocked. He starts asking if it is dangerous to send her off with another man. Sojang immediately thinks this guy looks far more suspicious. Now he seems even more dangerous than before. She tells him Dojin and Juju have known each other since childhood. They are basically like family, but this guy keeps staring after them. He clearly cannot believe a man and woman can be just friends. In the end, everyone says goodbye and heads home. The night finally comes to an end. When they get back, Dojin gently lays the drunk girl on the bed. He covers her with a blanket. Then he starts thinking about how careless she has been tonight. His mood only gets worse. He remembers the guy from the bar. Anger and irritation rise again. Didn't Juju understand what could have happened? Our boy is furious because she acts so recklessly. Still, everything ends safely that night, so Dojin tucks her in and lets her sleep peacefully. He decides to talk to her the next day instead. Then he quietly closes her bedroom door behind him. He lets out a deep breath. He starts wondering when Juju grew up so much. She used to be easy to handle before. Somehow he never noticed how mature she had become. He also worries about her bad drinking habit. Every time she drinks too much, trouble follows after. Then he suddenly remembers the earlier chest incident. Because of that, this guy starts blushing. Turns out, Juju has another reason for acting this way. When she was a child, she once woke up at night after hearing a strange noise. Thinking it was her father, she walked outside her room, but things got worse immediately. It was not her father at all. A burglar had broken into their apartment. The whole event became deeply traumatic for her. Even now as an adult, she still trembles when she is home alone at night. The robber panicked because he feared getting caught. Unfortunately, Juju got hurt during the incident. It left a lasting scar on her. Back then, Dojin was still young. He only knew the police came to their neighbors because of a robbery. He never learned the full story until recently. Before leaving, Taeyu finally told him that Juju had been injured that night. Because of that, Dojin now understands why her brother worries so much. He also understands why Juju should not stay alone at night. Since her brother is gone, Dojin decides to sleep in the living room. Meanwhile, Juju sleeps restlessly in her room. She keeps tossing and turning because she feels sick. Soon, she sits up in bed. Strong dizziness hits her right away. She cannot even tell where she is at first. Holding her aching head, she slowly walks out of the room. She is not sure if she is dreaming or awake. Then suddenly, she notices Dojin sleeping on the couch. Juju stares at him in confusion. Since she thinks this is only a dream, she acts carelessly. She climbs onto the couch and ends up lying on top of him. At the same time, Dojin is dreaming. In his dream, an annoying mosquito keeps bothering him. Half asleep, he mumbles and tries to brush it away. Morning finally comes. Dojin feels a heavy weight on his chest. He opens his eyes wide in shock. There he sees Juju sleeping on top of him again. Our boy cannot believe what he is seeing. Then he notices fresh marks on his body once more. He starts shouting at her to wake up immediately. Juju slowly opens her eyes and asks what is happening. Then she sees Dojin's irritated face. In that moment, she realizes she has done the same thing again. She freezes in horror right away. She had promised not to repeat this mistake. But after getting drunk, she loses control once more. Now she can only sit there in embarrassment. A little later, Juju takes a shower. She keeps scolding herself for her careless behavior. She truly thought everything was just a dream, but things clearly went too far again. Then she suddenly remembers their old agreement. If this happened again, Dojin would pay her back the same way. Just thinking about it makes her emotions feel strange and confusing. That only scares her more. She cannot understand why she feels this way. Dojin has always been like family to her, but now she starts noticing him differently. That realization leaves her completely flustered. She quickly tries to stop those thoughts. The idea embarrasses her deeply. She feels like she is losing her mind. How can she even think this way about someone she has known since childhood? Soon, a terrible truth hits her. She is starting to see Dojin as a man. After a while, she sits in the living room. Nervously, she keeps fidgeting with her fingers. Dojin runs a hand down his face and lets out a heavy sigh. Then he asks if she remembers what they agreed on last time. He is clearly angry and says he already warned her before. He reminds her that if this happened again, he would return the favor. Juju burns with embarrassment. She cannot believe she now has to face the consequences of her own actions. She asks if he is really serious. Dojin looks just as awkward as she does. but because he is still upset, he firmly says he is not joking. Earlier, when Juju came out after showering, she already looked guilty. She could tell this guy was truly mad at her. His silence and sharp stare make her even more nervous. Eventually, he makes tea for both of them. Sitting across from her, he asks if she understands where her drinking habits can lead. His tone stays serious the whole time. Juju quickly tries to defend herself. She says she normally does not drink this much. She adds that this is the first time she has ever gotten this drunk, but Dojin is still irritated. After another heavy sigh, he asks one direct question. He wants to know if she has ever done something like this with anyone else before. The girl immediately says of course not. She insists this is the first time anything like this has ever happened. That answer only confuses Ojin even more. Now this guy wants to know what is going on with her. He asks why she suddenly started acting this way now. He even wonders if something strange is behind it. Juju stays silent from pure embarrassment. The room becomes painfully awkward. Still, she knows she needs to explain herself somehow, so she clenches her fists and starts talking. She mentions her favorite actor first. According to her, that actor helped shape her ideal type. She explains that she likes strong and athletic features. But surprisingly, she says it is not only about appearance, the overall build and presence matter too. She tries hard to make him understand. Then Juju nervously admits something shocking. When she looked at Oppa, she realized he matched that image perfectly. Right after saying it, she starts blushing. Then she quickly apologizes. Dojin stands up from the table and lets out a heavy sigh. Even after hearing her honesty, he decides she still needs to learn a lesson. He reminds her about the promise they made earlier. Juju stares at him in confusion. She cannot believe he is still serious about it. But Dojin gives her a stern look and says a promise is still a promise. In truth, he never plans to really go through with anything. He only wants to scare her a little. Her reckless behavior has been worrying him the whole time. He wants Juju to understand that acting this way around strangers could lead to real trouble. Because of that, he decides to stay firm. He believes he will not be swayed by any excuse this time. But then something completely unexpected happens. His eyes suddenly widen in shock. He freezes where he stands. Juju boldly reacts in a way he never expected. The moment catches him off guard. Now this guy has no idea what to do next. He thinks she will beg for forgiveness like before. But surprisingly, Juju does the exact opposite. This guy becomes so shocked that he cannot even move. His cheeks and ears instantly turn red. He believes this girl has completely lost her mind. He should scold her for being reckless again. But for some reason, no words come out. He just stands there frozen. Juju looks straight into his eyes. Then she asks if he is really going to do it. Dojin slowly kneels in front of her. Everything about the moment feels wrong. Still, our boy only lets out a deep breath. Then he leans closer and leaves a mark on her neck, just like she once did to him. During that moment, something suddenly changes.